Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, that's right, the ghost with the most is back after, let me see, 1988. The original came out, 36 years in the making here. The sequel, long awaited, anticipated sequel is gonna make a bunch of money, I'm sure. I was a fan of the original. I don't think it's as good as I guess the name brand will suggest. I think it is an old saying, the sum is greater than the sum of its parts. It's kind of backwards for the original Beetlejuice. Well, I thought it was an okay film. It was cheesy and campy. I was young. I enjoyed it. But it was the characters, right? Some of the characters and even just the aesthetic all was a character, right? It's just Tim Burton, early Tim Burton at his best. It's very creative and, had that kind of gothic look to a lot of his films. And he brought a lot of that creativity, a lot of the cool kind of practical effects, which he still used in this movie. Very little CGI, that's a really good thing. But yeah, I thought, the character itself of Beetlejuice, I loved. I loved Michael Keaton. I loved him as Beetlejuice. And I thought he just was really the best part about the film. The moments with him were great and were a huge standout. Really elevated the film from being something kind of weak to something very entertaining, right? So I was looking forward to see if they can kind of recapture that magic here. Now, of course, Michael Keaton returns, and that's really the key item here. If he wasn't here, I probably wouldn't have seen this movie. But he comes back, of course, as Beetlejuice, and we have Winona Ryder coming back as Lydia. She has a daughter now played by Jenna Ortega, who's kind of a she's definitely her star has risen, particularly lately with, of course, being in Tim Burton's Wednesday on Netflix, which became one of the most popular shows. So I get it. We have some other returning characters. Lydia's mom or stepmom's in this as well, etc., etc. This one here now is focusing Lydia, of course, at a different stage in her life, and her daughter that kind of having a kind of a little bit of a strange relationship with Lydia, and Lydia finds herself in trouble with and needs her help. So Lydia's forced to, of course, call upon the services of one Beetlejuice to help save her kid. And of course, much like in the original, the deal's on where he and in exchange for his assistance, she needs to marry him. He still kind of holds a candle to her, and he's been waiting all this time to finally get his opportunity to make her his bride again. Now, listen, it's I wish I can come on here and say I love this movie. This is great. Oh my God, go watch it. Honestly, I'm just a little bit let down. I know there's some decent reviews leading up to it. I just maybe I'll be in the minority and say I just didn't think this movie was all that good. I mean, it doesn't have. And listen, I don't expect to recapture what it had in the beginning, right? Lightning in the bottle, but it does miss a little bit of that charm, that campiness the original had. Now it does have that the kooky nature about it and the imagination of the afterlife. All that's there, right? It's a lot of cool things in here, right? Beetlejuice, he's always great, and Michael Keaton's great upon him, but I thought he was kind of underused, particularly in the sequel, where I think he should have been the main headliner, and he wasn't. And it's one great scene with him at the beginning, in the middle when he's kind of being a therapist, which I really liked that scene a lot. And then towards the end, it was okay, but overall, I thought he was underwhelming as a whole. The storyline, it just there's one too many storylines in this film. There's one, and you see the trailer with Monica Bellucci, he plays. It's a I guess they call her a soul sucker. She's going after Beetlejuice, seeking for revenge for something that happened. And, this is not really a spoiler. I don't think it is, but they used to be married back in the day, so it's a little bit of an origin tale with them. She's seeking revenge out on him, but that really didn't go anywhere. It seemed like it was going to, and they just showed her a couple of times, but she's goes from one character to the next, not really saying much, just sucking up their souls and kills the dead and moves on. And only at the end where it kind of comes to a head, but that was kind of pointless. It was unnecessary. The real storyline here, particularly why Beetlejuice was brought back by Lydia, was because Jenna Ortega's character needs her help. She finds herself in the world of the dead and needs her assistance to get out because of someone she meets, and I'll leave it at that. Which I like that part of the storyline, but they could have used a little more to beef it up, and that's all you really needed, right? You had the setup there to bring back Beetlejuice in a way to assist in him obviously exchanging for his services to get married with Lydia again. That would have worked on its own. It kind of just wasted time with something that didn't really nothing materialized out of it. She looked cool, Monica Bellucci's character and all that, but you could have taken away. Got Willem Dafoe in there as well. Again, he was hamming it up and just scenes that it just for me didn't work. I didn't think his character was funny. A lot of the humor just didn't work. It really didn't. It kind of felt flat. But ultimately, at the end of the day, is a movie which I think if you haven't seen the original, you shouldn't bother with this, because I think that the real hook here is the nostalgia behind the character of Beetlejuice. Like I said, he does work when he's on the screen, although I wish there was more of him. The imagination's still there, some of the practical effects, all that work, and cool characters and visions of the underground, things they introduced, and underground, of the underworld, things they introduced really worked. But ultimately, at this falls flat, man. I was kind of like just checking my watch and like, what's going on here? It's just nothing's being pieced together well. The nostalgia part hit, and I enjoyed that. And this is not the worst movie I've ever seen. And because I'm a Beetlejuice fan, which has become kind of a cult following, that's a deep fans for the character, I like seeing him. But other than that, you take him away, this movie's just not a lot going on, nothing good anyway that I liked. Again, I may be minority, but I can't honestly recommend you guys to go to theater and watch it. If you're a diehard Beetlejuice fan, sure, and you'll probably enjoy it, and you're gonna find something good about it. There's things that I liked about this film, not a lot of things, but a few things. But ultimately, I think if you haven't seen it, I wouldn't bother watching it. If you're not the big fan of the original but are curious, watch it at home. Honestly, I just don't think you get that much out of it. Personally, I don't think it was that well put together. It just kind of seemed more like a cash grab, featuring a really great iconic character in film, for the most part. So that being said, Beetlejuice, you guys are gonna check it out. Comment below, let me know where you guys thought. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.